Despite a lack of screen time in the movies over the last 50 years, planet Earth looms large in the Alien franchise. Every terrifying event can be traced back to decisions made on Earth, and the planet takes center stage in FX's blockbuster series, Alien Earth. So here's everything we know about Earth to prepare you for it. Earth, referred to simply as the world, is the third planet in the Sol system. It's the homeworld of the human species, and is orbited by one moon, Luna, the first astronomical body beyond Earth to be colonized by humans. Earth is very rarely seen in the movies, but always felt. It's the distant home everyone talks about, the place characters dream of returning to, but never quite reach.
Prehistory and Earth sightings, the Prometheus prologue and beyond.
The earliest event in the Alien franchise's history takes place around 4 billion years ago. An engineer, a giant translucent extraterrestrial, lands on a primordial Earth. He brings a container of black liquid, or black goo. The engineer drinks the liquid, which breaks down his body on a cellular level. He collapses into the planet's water, his DNA dissolving and spreading. The black goo mixes with Earth's environment and begins the evolutionary process that leads to all life on the planet, including humans. This is a key moment, where the alien universe breaks from our real-world history. Humanity is the result of deliberate interference by an alien race, rather than from natural evolution alone. Throughout Prometheus, the first movie chronologically in the Alien timeline, Earth is referenced both as humanity's home and the starting point for the mission. Early in the film, we get a rare sighting of the planet during a flashback set on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. In it, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway make a groundbreaking archaeological discovery. This takes place in 2089, 2 years before the main events of the story. In a remote cave, they uncover ancient paintings depicting humans worshipping giant figures. Engineers, gesturing toward a star constellation. Another reference to Earth has Holloway explaining to the crew how the ancient star maps were discovered across a range of early human civilizations, including the Sumerians, Egyptians, Mayans, and Mesopotamians, all pointing toward the same distant star system, LV-223. Each of these diverse Earth cultures is presented as having independently recorded the same celestial pattern, strengthening the theory that humanity was created by the engineers. It is worth noting one other key sighting of Earth in the franchise, again from a more recent installment. In the opening scene from Alien Covenant, a flashback shows David's creation on Earth in the presence of Peter Weyland. The scene takes place in a large, opulent chamber decorated with classical sculptures and high art. This scene is most likely set in 2025 based on established timeline materials. Now let's dive into more lore.
21st century.
The Alien timeline diverges. Jumping back in time a few years, the Alien universe's timeline split from ours in the early 21st century. In 2016, Weyland's company used atmospheric processors to end global warming. By the 2020s, Weyland Industries had cured most cancers using engineered cells, and by 2025, they created the first android, called David-1. In 2034, Weyland scientists perfected faster-than-light travel, launching the first FTL-capable ship, the Heliades. From then on, humanity moved towards interstellar colonization and powerful corporations controlling space in ways that didn't happen, or at least haven't yet, in our real world. Weyland Corporation, founded in 2012, was the key driver of this change. Peter Weyland's famous 2023 TED Talk set out his vision of building better worlds, which became the company's motto. By taking over space exploration, like buying NASA's Kepler exoplanet program in 2026, and finding thousands of habitable planets, Weyland Industries pushed humanity's expansion beyond Earth. The Alien timeline saw space travel, terraforming, and synthetic life appear decades earlier than in our world. By the 2080s, Earth had colonies on Mars and Titan, and was hunting for new planets to colonize. This rapid progress, fueled by Weyland's faster-than-light travel and cybernetic breakthroughs, is the main difference between the Alien universe's Earth and our own.
22nd century. Who controls Earth?
By the start of the 22nd century, Earth was controlled by large supranational blocs, with old countries combining into new alliances. One major group was the Three World Empire, known as 3WE, formed in 2088. Led by the United Kingdom and Japan, and joined by India and other countries, the 3WE got its name from humanity's first 3 settled worlds, Earth, Mars, and Titan, and became the most advanced power of its time. The big corporations Weyland and Yutani came from the UK and Japan, and when they merged in 2099 to form Weyland Yutani, it was closely tied to the rise of the 3WE. Like a country, the 3WE had a formal government, a constitutional monarchy combining the British and Japanese royal families, but real power rested with regional parliaments and colonial governors, because huge distances and corporate interests limited how much central control they had. In response to the 3WE, the countries of North, Central, and South America came together to form the United Americas, UA, by 2103. By pooling their resources for space colonization, the UA became a major colonial power in the 22nd century, with the United States leading its government and military. The UA still had a president, Congress, and other familiar structures, but in practice, it extended U.S. influence out into space. It had a powerful military, especially the United States Colonial Marine Corps, USCMC, its Rapid Response Force across the colonies, prominently featured in James Cameron's Aliens. A third political player was the Union of Progressive Peoples, UPP, a socialist alliance, likely including China, Russia, and others, that stood against the capitalist UA and 3WE. By the middle of the 22nd century, the UA and UPP were locked in a Cold War over contested colonies. Sometimes this led to fights on the frontier, like the Tian Sin Campaign of 2162, and border clashes after 2183. This shows that Earth never became a single world government. Instead, it split into power blocks with different ideologies, carrying the Cold War into space. Even though Earth's governments exist, corporations have a huge amount of power over how the planet is run. These megacorporations influence laws and even control the military. The most famous of these is Weyland-Yutani. It's involved in all aspects of space colonization and research, and is often shown controlling or manipulating governments behind the scenes. For example, Weyland-Yutani can use the colonial marines to protect their property or stop revolts, as in Aliens. There's even a treaty called the Washington Treaty that lets the UA military step in on colony worlds to, quote, keep order, something Weyland-Yutani uses to enforce its corporate interests. By 2202, after many wars and treaties, the main blocks merge into one big government called the United Systems. Under the United Systems, Earth probably has one central government, supported by the United Systems military seen in Alien Resurrection.
Moving on to take a look at how society on Earth actually fits together in the Alien movies. Starting with Earth's economy. Earth's economy is hyper-capitalist. It's dominated by mega corporations, especially Weyland-Yutani, with its main offices are in London, Tokyo, and San Francisco, as well as another headquarters on the moon's Sea of Tranquility. Other companies also play a role in Earth's economy. One example is Seegson, originally Segan Sun, an older megacorp that once competed in tech and colonization. By 2066, Seegson had factories in cities like London, Nagasaki, and Buenos Aires, plus a presence on the moon. It built products like the Working Joe androids, but by 2137, as seen in Alien Isolation, Seegson was in decline. Its Sevastopol station was shut down, and its technology was falling behind Weyland-Yutani's more advanced synthetics. Other companies include Hyperdyne Systems, which built synthetic models like Ash and Bishop, and LaSalle Bionational, a biotech rival mentioned in some sources. Even Walmart exists in this future. In the special edition of Alien Resurrection, there's a tongue-in-cheek reference that Weyland-Yutani went under decades ago, bought out by Walmart sometime in the 2300s. Later, in the late 24th century, after the fall of the United Systems military, Weyland-Yutani makes a comeback.
Next up is technology. Earth is highly advanced technologically. Early breakthroughs like faster-than-light travel, reliable cryogenic sleep for long trips, efficient terraforming, and lifelike androids pushed humanity quickly into space. But technology in everyday life often looks more basic. This was a creative choice to show a gritty, lived-in future. Director James Cameron once said that maybe humanity hit a future dystopic dark age where progress slowed down and inequality grew because of corporate control. This explains why computers and weapons shown in Aliens in 2179 aren't much different from those in Alien in 2122 or even 2091 in Prometheus. Technology is advanced overall, big things like interstellar ships, AI, and terraforming, but technological progress is not spread evenly. Climate and environment. Earth in the alien universe is a planet damaged by centuries of industry. By the late 22nd and 23rd centuries, it's not a green paradise anymore. By the 24th century, Earth and its population have been left behind. People see off-world colonies as much cleaner and more hopeful than Earth. Characters talk about the colonies as shiny and new and clean, while Earth is seen as a wreck. Earlier in the timeline, there was actually some hope. Weyland's invention of atmospheric processors reversed global warming, fixing the climate. But soon, humanity focused on colonizing other worlds. Earth became the industrial center of human civilization, draining it of resources and shipping out products to the colonies. By the 22nd century, Earth's environment was heavily polluted, and its habitats were destroyed. We get hints of what Earth looks like. One source simply lists Earth's global conditions as water, desert, rock. In Aliens 2179, Earth looks blue and peaceful from space, but on the ground, it's smoggy and crowded. By the 23rd century, the goal of terraformers is to recreate the air, soil, and water characteristics of a long-lost planet, rather than the scorched Earth of the present day. By Resurrection, 200 years later, Earth is shown as scarred and barren. In the film's special edition, Ripley and Call look down at Earth's brownish sky. The mercenary Johnner even jokes, "Earth, man, what a sh*." In the Resurrection novelization, it says that Earth has become a garbage dump, polluted, overcrowded, and with no real opportunities. Only the poor and those who can't leave are stuck living in dirty, sprawling cities, while the rich and ambitious make their fortunes in the colonies. As a ray of hope for our blue planet, in the final scene of Alien Resurrection, there's a hint of greenery, showing that some plants are hanging on. Population and living conditions.
During the events of the Alien saga, Earth still has a large human population, but this is overshadowed by humanity's spread into space. Earth is home to billions of people. One source says over 7.3 billion humans live on Earth in the early 22nd century. The people on Earth are described as disenfranchised and unemployed, though the planet is still the largest single population center and the cultural heart of humanity. Earth is heavily urbanized, with sprawling megacities and industrial zones covering much of the planet. In Aliens, during Ripley's dream, it's shown as a sea of lights, suggesting massive metropolitan areas. We don't see everyday life on Earth in the movies, but we know cities like San Francisco are still important. Weyland-Yutani keeps a main office there. Other key cities include Tokyo, London, and Washington, D.C., where the Sir Peter Weyland Library was built in 2065. Earth's urbanization probably reached its peak by the 22nd century, then stagnated or even declined as people left to live off-world. After 2179, Earth faced unrest like the food riots and the Australia Wars, which may have shrunk some cities. By the 2200s, Earth also had to take back soldiers returning from wars on the frontier. Wrapping up the official movie's depiction of Earth. For all of the downsides that the movies present of Earth, characters often express homesickness or a sense of heritage when speaking about it and show a desire to return to it. In Aliens, when Ripley and Burke talk about her daughter, we learn that Amanda Ripley died on Earth, in a hospital in the US, at age 66 while Ripley was lost in space. This sad moment shows how Earth remains the anchor for family and memory. Similarly, Hicks at one point plans to take Newt back to Earth and promises Ripley that the little girl will get to grow up there, though that plan is sadly derailed by the events of Alien 3. Despite the talk of Earth being a slum, for people who have been away, even those who were born in space, Earth still feels like home. It's the place where humanity started, and it has a special gravity, both literally and emotionally.
The Alien Earth TV series. Planet Earth takes center stage for the first time in the FX series Alien Earth. Set in the year 2120, 2 years before the events of the original Alien film, it shows an Earth that's governed by 5 major corporations: Prodigy, Weyland-Yutani, Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold. Technological advancements have led to the creation of hybrids, humanoid robots infused with human consciousness. The central character, Wendy, is the first of these hybrids. Earth is portrayed as a high-tech corporate dystopia. Cyborgs, synthetic androids, and hybrids coexist, while powerful corporations vie for dominance. At least part of the series will take place in a sprawling metropolis called Prodigy City, with a lush, forested research island called Neverland also featuring. Showrunner Noah Hawley has said that the FX series will maintain the continuity of the Alien universe, and the glimpses we've seen so far are all consistent with the rest of the story. A hyper-capitalist society dominated by powerful megacorporations, with dramatic technological advancements, and gradual ecological decline. And as always, the value of a perfect organism is far greater than that of human life. The series marks the first time the xenomorph threat is unleashed on Earth, making the stakes more immediate and terrifying. According to creator Noah Hawley, you're gonna lock your door that night. So lock your doors, subscribe, and stick with us for more Alien videos and to see how the story unfolds.